That's just heaven on the wrist, isn't it? Look at the wrist presence there. Why is this the one watch that I've been prepared to pay retail price for this year? The only one. I'm very value orientated. I believe, just like cars, watches last a long time. Pre-owned is the way to go. Let somebody else take the hit with the depreciation. But this particular watch, the GENE KRANZ Seiko 5 limited edition, I paid retail for. Let me tell you why, and I can guarantee it'll not be the reasons you think. Hello and welcome to The Perfect Wrist. If you haven't been here before, my name is Paul. This channel is all about my watch collecting journey, unearthing great value, especially in this environment that we're in now, finding those gems that just hit the wrist perfectly. So this watch has just started hitting the shops here in the UK. It retails for £400. We'll talk about that later, that price point. What's that, $500? I'm not going to waste your time with an unboxing video or the fact that it's 316L stainless steel, blah blah blah. Let's just have a look at what it's about and how it makes me feel. Well, for a start, this is an almost exact like-for-like reinterpretation of the original Seiko 5 worn by GENE KRANZ, a head operative of the Apollo missions for NASA during the early 70s. Technically, it is a limited edition. There's both a black dial and a silver dial version, although we use the term limited loosely as there are almost 10,000 in each edition. But it's not the fact that it's a limited edition that drew me to this watch. I don't think 10,000 of each colourway is particularly limited. No, there are other things that drew me to this watch. As soon as I saw this watch, I had to know more. In my opinion, it's a very rare occasion where Seiko have got everything just right. And I mean everything. The dimensions, the crystal, it's a slightly domed Heslite crystal, Seiko's own proprietary acrylic, so it's not sapphire. The brushed bezel, the pure black dial, the fact that they've gone for the original Seiko 5 shield applied, as is the logo. The indices themselves are applied with beautiful stainless edging, the hands with their beveled edges. The kanji date wheel in dual colorways that the original watches of the 60s and 70s had. And that's a friction fit bi-directional bezel, by the way. It just moves smoothly in both directions with a decent amount of friction. Let's also talk about the movement. It's the 4R36. In its day, this watch would have had one of Seiko's more prehistoric movements that would have just operated with the movement of your wrist. It wouldn't have had hacking. It very likely didn't have hand winding. But this is Seiko's staple 4R36 movement. Now, I've had a lot of Seikos, the 6R movements, the 4R movements, even the basic 7S movements. And this is what Seiko do best, I'm convinced. The value end, the mainstream end, with their bulletproof everyday movements. It's exactly what this watch has got, and it's exactly the sort of movement it would have had back in the 70s. Let's just take between 10 and 20 seconds to take that in. Pure black dial, beautiful beveling to the hands that just play with the light. The original applied logo and shield, as well as lume everywhere that matters. Oh, by the way, if you like these videos, don't forget to give them a like and also hit the notification bell so that you're made aware of future releases when I make them. It all helps. It does, it all helps. Let's also just look at the bracelet. It's all brushed and it's a cut above the standard Seiko bracelet at this price level. The little elements of it just hug the wrist perfectly, make it very compliant and comfortable. You'll also notice the brushed top surfaces to the case, polished along the edges. But none of this yet explains why I was prepared to pay retail for this particular watch. I am going to get to that. It's a funny thing to say, but this watch is actually going to save me a small fortune. Because of the case design, the case shape, the way it sits on the wrist, everything about it. My wrist is 7.4 inches. Look at how it hugs the wrist there, with a slightly curved case. This is going to save me from all sorts of other watches that I might have been tempted by. I'm thinking particularly about Satina and the DS2, as well as endless other vintage watches from various manufacturers. This little humble Seiko could be a companion for life that just ticks all of those boxes with bang up to date specs. Okay, but none of that explains why I was still prepared and keen to pay retail for this watch. I could have waited a year for it to become available on the secondary market. Well, on a superficial level, I could point out that this watch is a great rounded package. A reinterpretation of a classic watch executed brilliantly. And it ticks all the boxes so far as the specs, the lume, the case size, the appearance, everything. That's one way to, but that still doesn't explain why I would pay retail this year and not just wait 6 months or a year for it to drop in price on the secondary market. There's more to it than this. I'm going to be slightly controversial and suggest that, in my opinion, Seiko probably hit a home run with a watch once every 10 years or so. I know there's all these high-end beauties, some of the SPB reinterpretations, some of the Grand Seikos, that sort of thing. But for what Seiko are renowned for, what they always were good at, offering great designs and bulletproof reliability to the mainstream at an affordable price, this is one of those watches that does that. It's a classic, and to me, it's a bit like I was a bit late to the watch collecting party, so I missed out on any chance of a Seiko srpL93 at retail. But I would have liked the opportunity, knowing what I know now, to go back and having bought a srpL93, I would have paid retail for one and kept it, just held on to it, looked after it. Now I feel like that about this watch. I think this is such a classic, such a perfect design. It was back in the 70s and it is again now, just with up-to-date materials. I feel that this will be a future classic, a future icon, and at the perfect price. If the Saab was available for retail now with its 6-hour movement, it would probably be about between £450 and £600, let's say. What's that, $700? $600? Something like that. This watch is quite close to that, just below, with a 4-hour movement, around $500, £400. And I feel that is the right price for this watch. By paying retail for this, I in no way feel that I'm getting ripped off. I feel that looking at what else is available in the market from other providers, other providers, that's my old insurance days, other manufacturers, I feel that this is spot on. I'll keep it. I bought it at retail, I bought it new, and it's one of those rare occasions where I think, yeah, 10 years time, I'll still have this. So thanks for watching. You may agree with some of those points, you may not. It's a cracking watch either way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. I've got some watch repair videos coming. I'm doing some mods to 1 or 2 watches, so look forward to those.